Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. This is Mallikarjun. Right, in my previous session, I have shown you like how to do a rack to rack database restore and recover using the restore and recover scenario. Like if you have source rack database and you want to clone it to target server as a rack database using restore and recover, that's a traditional method. I showed you like how you can do a restore and recover method to use a duplicate your source database, the production database as a development database or the on the target server using restore and recover method. So in this particular today's session, I'm going to demonstrate on how you're going to clone RAC database from source to target, two node rack to two node rack using RMAN duplicate database using RMAN clone method. Right. So this particular demo session contains these three major steps. Take a production database backup, copy it to the target server, use RMAN duplicate database to clone it, and then do a post steps for converting that clone database as the RAC database. So these are pretty much three steps I'm going to demonstrate here. Right. So if you are new to my channel and if you missed out my previous sessions, or I have conducted many sessions on RMAN backups, restore, recovery scenarios. You can go back to YouTube and search for Malik034, and then you can watch whatever the previous recording sessions, so that this particular today's session is going to be like very much understandable if you cover this previous sessions. Right. And then nevertheless, if you like my videos, don't forget to give thumbs up and then share with your friends and colleagues. All right, having said that, let's get started with this today's demo on that RMAN duplicate database, RMAN clone for RAC to RAC database. Right, so first step is take your production database backup and then copy it to target server. So if I go to my lab here, I have my this red color, which is DevDB1, and then DevDB2, which is my source RAC database. And then I have a target, which is in yellow color. I have my ASM instance one running on this node one here. And then I have my ASM2 instance is running under this particular second node. This is a target two node rack, which is in yellow color, and then the source two node rack, which is in uh, red color. Let's connect to Oracle user here, set the environment to DevDB, already set to DevDB. My Oracle home is 19C Oracle home. Let's set the Oracle home to 19C. That's a user and app Oracle product 19C DevDB one. You can do srvctl status database -d DevDB. So this is DevDB instance one, DevDB instance two, running on node one and node two. You can do srvctl config database -d DevDB. So this is your database configuration. So your DB nickname, DB name, your Oracle home, your SP file, password file, your database role is primary, DevDB1 instance, DevDB2 instance running under Vara node 1, Vara node 2, right? So this is your source side. Right, let's take a full database backup on the source side using this particular RMAN command here. Right, so what it says, connect to target, connect to source database as a target, and then run this run block, allocate channel, take a database backup under user and backup, take arclog backup under user and backup, take a control file backup under user and backup, take SP file backup under user and backup. So this is your simple run block. You're going to run it over here, connect to RMAN target. You're going to run this one. Enter. Right. So this is a simple run block. You're taking your, these are your arclogs here, which is taking here with both the thread one. You can see thread one, thread two. It means like instance one and instance two. Both the rack node, all the arclogs it is getting backed up here. It is arclog backup, like starting arclog backup as a backup set. And then these are the sequence numbers it's taking from the thread one, 45, and the thread two, it's a 28. That's the maximum sequence number. So arclog backup is completed here. You can see user one backup arclog, and then starting with your full database backup set. These are your data files, your syssoc, system, undo, and then the users. These are the data files which are available inside data disk group, and then it is taking it as a user one backup, full backup. And again, after that, it's taking one more arclog. It's going to switch one arclog. Thread one, sequence number 46, thread two, sequence number 29. It has taken one more arclog, and then it has taken your control file backup here. It has taken your SP file backup here, and then it has taken your auto backup inside your record disk FRA location. Right. So this is your backup details on the source side. Do LSF and LTR. So these are your backups, and then copy these backups to target server. This is your target server here. 10.38.4.1.0.1 and then 1.1.5. This is your target server. I'm just going to copy it to target server here, these backups. All right, it's a copying here, go into U01 backup. Right, so all the files are coming here now. Right, it's backing up, it's copying, it is transferring all the backups to your target server from the source to target. With just one node, you can just transfer it. If you have saved NFS mount point, you can just mount it. That's more than enough. So you just make sure that your backup is available on the target server. Right, it has backed up your RK logs, control files. It is backing up the database backup piece of the backup set. Right, so it is already copying most of the files here. Done. So it has copied all these 5 files here. Then if I go here on the target server, I can see all those 5 files: RK log, control file, SP file, it's a full database backup, and SP file. Everything is backed up here now. Now on the target server, what we're going to do, like we're going to start my auxiliary instance, and then we're going to just start with this duplicate target database, which will do a complete restore and recovery from the source backup piece as a target on the target server. So what I'm going to do, like I'm just going to start with my dummy p file. Like this is my dummy p file here. I'm just going to put it here one extra step before this RMAN auxiliary. So what I'll do, like I'll just use SQL plus /SSDBA. So this is my dummy p file. If you see, like this is my dummy p file. Dummy p file as a test DB one. Just I will cat this one here. This is my dummy p file on the target server. If I do cat of that, you can see this dummy p file. What it says here, I'm restoring whatever this DB which is running under my source side, and this is my source database, right? Source side, which is running this DB1, DB2. I'm restoring it as a test DB on the target server. So that's where now I created this init testdb.vara. So this is a dummy init file. What this init file contains: a DB name as a test DB, DB nickname as a test DB, and a cluster database equal to false. This is very, very mandatory and very, very important because we are restoring it as a standalone database on the target side. Later, we are converting it as a RAC database. So make sure that when you are cloning or when you are doing a restore and recovery of your RAC database, you have to make sure that on the target side, you have to make this cluster database equal to false during the restore or during the clone. And then your audit file dest, and then your DB create file dest is data, online log dest1, log dest2 is data and reco. And then these 2 parameters are very, very mandatory and important here when you are renaming your database or when your file system or the disk groups are different in naming convention. If you see, like DB file name convert a data dev DB, we're making it as a data test DB, and the log file name convert data dev DB, and reco dev DB and reco test DB. So whatever the dev DB, we're converting as a test DB here. And your control files are your one is data control 1 and reco and control 2, which is test DB under test DB. Your DB recovery file destination and DB create file destination, and then arclog destination is use DB recovery file dest. So this is a dummy simplest init file what you're going to use it for starting your instance. So set the environment to dev DB, so test DB here, test DB. And then Oracle home is going to be same as whatever we have it here, 19C Oracle home. Just copy that one, place it over here, and then use your SQL plus, and then start up your instance. Startup no mount. It should be startup no mount. Sorry, startup no mount, and then your whatever the P file. You're going to use that P file, and then we're going to start my database using that particular P file, so that your database will ready for cloning. Right, so what we can do, right, so startup no mount P file equal to that init testdb.vara. Let's put a semicolon here. Right, so startup no mount P file. So your instance is getting started here. You can take a one more duplicate session and then tail that alert log root Right. So how we are going to check the alert log location? Locate alert underscore testdb.log. So this is your alert log here. What you are seeing, username app Oracle DAG RDB is testdb. So tail that alert log. So this is your alert log which is started here. Now what you can do, next step, once your database is started in no mount, what we're going to do, like connect to RMAN as a RMAN auxiliary. Auxiliary, like imaginary, that dummy, like which is not the actual target one. That's a auxiliary one. What we're going to start here, auxiliary database, that is testdb not mounted. What I'm going to do, like duplicate target database to testdb. From the backup location, I'm going to give that backup location which we copied from the source to target here, user and backup, with the no file name check. It's not going to check the file names, so it's just going to restore it as it is. Like duplicate target database to testdb from this backup location with the no file name check. Right, it's starting your duplicate database here, and then shut down your clone database, startup clone no mount, and then it will do a sequence by steps. It will start with your SP file restore, it will start with your control file restore, and then it will start with your data file restore, and then finally it will recover your database. And then you can see your alert log at the same time. Right, you can see your instance shutdown done, connected to auxiliary instance, which is not started, like startup clone no mount. Right, so this is your content of memory script, your DB name, your DB unique name, your restore clone control file. It's going to restore your control file using this particular control file information, whatever you have it in your user and backup. You can see it has set your SQL statement here, set DB name, DB unique name. Now instance shutdown. And then even though we given DB name as test DB, first time when you do a restore, it will use the DB name as the old DB name. That's the dev DB, and later it will rename the control file. That time it will change the database name to test DB. Right, you can see you executing set new name. It has set new name for my data file 1, 3, 4, 7, like all are set to your data 1 data disk group, and then reading this particular full database backup. So it has read that backup piece, and then it has restored all the data files. And then these are your switch data files. It has switched all your data files here, system, sysocs, undo, and users. And then recover, it is doing a recovery now. It is applying the archelog. It has applied the archelog here. You can see 46 is sequence number applied on thread 1, and then 29 is the sequence number, it's applied on thread 2. If I go here on my backup information, whatever the backup I took here, it has completed your archelog backup, like 45 and 28, and then it has took a database backup. Again, it has did a one log switch of 46 on thread 1 and 29 on thread 2. It has taken 46 and 29. If I go here, it has applied 46 on thread 1 and 29 on thread 2. That's a higher sequence what it had applied. And then after that, it has done one more time database or recovery completed here. And then it has again doing some more DB name changes. It's doing a DB name changes here. You can see setting DB name to test DB here now. And then this is your control file recreation. It is going to recreate your control file. Create control file reuse. It's going to recreate your control file. And then once the control file restore is done, yeah, that's it. You're cataloging all the data files. And then yeah, your alter database open reset log. So your database is restored. Exit, then do ps-ef grep smon. Sorry, ps-ef grep smon. You can see your test DB is ready now here. SQL plus /s SQL plus /s DBA. So you are connected to database. You can do a select name and open mode. Your test DB, which is read write mode. So this is a single instance, standalone instance we restored. Now you are going to do a post clone, which you are going to converting it as a RAC database. So now what we are going to do, like create a P file from your source database and then modify accordingly to the target database. So I'll just connect to my source database here, SQL plus /sysdba. I'll just do create P file from SP file, which will create inside my DBS location. Right, your P file created here, exit, cd dollar oracle underscore home. So cd dollar oracle underscore home, cd dbs, so lsfnltr. So this is a p file which is got created now March 1st. Cat that p file and then take this p file content over here, and then you're gonna copy it over here. So this is your dev.db. So you have to modify all this dev.db as a test.db here, and then you have to change this local listener. One is like, you have to modify all these parameters, whatever this memory structure which is pointing to dev.db, you have to make it as a test.db. Whatever this audit file list which is pointing to test dev.db, you have to make it as a test.db. Whatever this database control files which says that data dev.db, you have to make it as a data test.db, and it should be like control one, and then it will be reco test.db, and then control two. You have to make these changes, and then you have to use this service name wherever it's pointing to dev.db, you have to make it as a test.db. And then whatever this local listener which is pointing to dev.db1, dev.db2, you have to make it as a test.db, and you have to change this VIP name here. So you have to modify all these parameters here accordingly the target environment. Already like I modified here. If I go to Oracle home/dbs, this is the parameter, like, init test db1.vara after rack parameter added. If I do cat, so these are the parameters. I'll just copy it over here. I'll take it as a new tab. I'll just compare side by side. This is 1 and 2. Right. So if you see, like, these are your whatever dev.db, whatever this dev.db which is pointing as a test.db here. These are like name, whatever the parameter name has changed here. Your audit file which has changed to dev.db, it has changed to test.db. And then whatever the DB name, and then this cluster database equal to true, that's mandatory. We have to make it as a cluster database equal to true. While cloning, we are making it as a cluster database equal to false. Now we are making, after the restore is done, we are making it as a cluster database equal to true. And then your control file information is very, very important. Whatever you use in dummy fee file. So data, like, your data test.db control 1, record test.db control 2. So these are the two control file names you have to mention over here. And then your local listener should point to test.db1, test.db2, and then should point to your Oracle node 1 VIP, Oracle node 2 VIP. You have to make sure that you have to change this Oracle node 1 and Oracle node 2 VIPs. That is your that is your local listeners. And then the remaining thread ones and thread 2, your undo table space, everything you have to change it from the dev.db to test.db. And then service name you have to change it to test.db from the dev.db to test.db. So once you create this p file, that's it. So you're gonna use that p file to start your database. So I have already modified here. This is my modified rack parameter file. I'll just copy this one as a init test db1.vara. Right. So just to verify one more time, cat this one, cat init test db1.vara. So now we are going it as a init test db1 and init test db2. We are making it as a 2 instances. That's a rack instances. So this is your content after modifying all the details. Now you're going to set the environment to test db1. So earlier when restoring, we used it as a test db. Now we are making it as a test db1. So that's my instance 1. And then my Oracle home is going to be user and app product 19c db home 1. Right. So set the environment env pipeline grep vara. You can see SID test db1 base and Oracle home. So now you can go back to that. After you modify your init file, and then you got your test db1, set the environment to your test db1, and then start using that test db1 init file, SQL plus SSDBA, and then startup p file equal to that, whatever the modified rack parameter included in this test db1.vara. So start with that one. And then once that is done, you're going to create a SP file. Like, you can see create SP file, which is pointing to data test.db parameter file, SP file test.db.vara from this particular rack modified parameter files. So you're going to create a P file of SP file inside your data disk group using that rack modified P file. So instance number is busy. So let's see what is that instance number is busy. We made some mistake over there. Let's see what is that instance number is busy. So we did not shut down our database here. Like, we had to shut down our RAC database, whatever the test DB what we cloned here earlier. So let me include that step here. So whatever this database test DB, we need to shut down that first. Let's set the environment to test DB back, and then Oracle home, SQL plus SSDBA, shut immediate. So let me include this step here before we modify it. Like, where is that one? Okay, here we missed this step here. Like, it's already available here. SQL plus SSDBA and then shut immediate. So we missed this step. That's where we got that instance number is busy because that test DB is already running. So you cannot start the test DB1 instance again. That's where you got that instance number is busy. So now you did a shutdown here, and then now we created a init file. Now we created a test db1.vara. So now you can set the environment back to test db1. Dev db test db, I made it as a test db1 now here. Set the Oracle home same as this one. Connect back to SQL plus SSDBA, and then what we're gonna do? We're gonna create startup mount with that RAC modified init file. This time it should start without any issue because now we shut down that old test DB database which was used for restoring. Right, you can see your instance is started here. Yeah, your database is mounted here. Now what we're going to do, we're going to do this create SP file, which is going to create inside my data disk group as a SP file testdb.vara from that RAC modified P file. So this is a command. I'm just going to run it here. Right, your SP file got created here. Now you can do shut immediate. Right, so now we are going to create your testdb1.vara node 1, testdb2.vara node 2, and then we point it to my SP file which is inside data disk group. So command for that is on the node 1 create init testdb.1vara and then point to that SP file. Again on node 2 create this init testdb2.vara, point it to your SP file. Just this is a forward appending. I'm doing it here. Let's exit from here and then just do this cat with appended, and then I'm gonna do this point to my SP file location over here and then cancel it here. Just do cat now here. Okay, you can see your init testdb1.vara pointing to your SP file. Go to your node 2 and then ls-ltr, and then you have your init testdb2.vara. Again, that is also pointing to your SP file. So both are looks good here. Both are pointing to your SP file. If not, you can create your both individual init testdb1.vara, init testdb2.vara, node 1 and node 2 using this command here. Now you can start your database using that SP file, so that it should start from the SP file which is inside. Just do startup mount, which should start with the SP file which is inside your data disk group. Startup mount. You can do this show parameter P file or the SP file. Instance started here. Yeah, database mounted. Do show parameter SP file. You can see it is pointing to data testdb parameter and then SP file testdb.vara. Right, looks good now. Now we're going to convert this database as a RAC database. Just shut it down, this database again. So just this command is to just to verify, there's no issue for my database to start using that SP file, using that P file which is pointing to SP file. Right now we're converting my testdb to RAC DB using srctl add database -d testdb -n testdb. That's a DB unique name. There's a DB name, DB unique name -o your Oracle home -p. It is your password. Your parameter file. -t is immediate. -a is data and record. It's a command. You're going to add it here. Just exit. Right. So you added here. Now you're going to add the instances. srctl add instance, that is testdb. Instance name is testdb1, which is on Oracle node 1. Testdb instance 2 is testdb2, and then Oracle lab 2. These are the two instances you're going to add it using srctl. Add instance 1 completed. Add instance 2. Add instance 2 completed here. And then now we're going to do srvctl config database. And you can see your test DB name is testdb, unique name is testdb, Oracle home, your SP file, and then your start option, shutdown option, your database role is primary, disk groups are data and reco, your instances are testdb1, testdb2, running on Oracle node 1, Oracle node 2. Right, everything look good. Check the status, your both the database instance status, testdb1, testdb2, not running on node 1 and node 2. And then you can do srvctl start database, which is going to start on both the nodes. Right, it's starting here, srvctl start database. And then use the same status command to verify it is started on both the nodes. Right, your database is started here without any issue. srvctl status, you can see testdb1, testdb2 running on node 1 and running on node 2. And then you can quickly connect SQL, just do ps-ef grep smon on node 1. You can see your testdb1 here, and the same thing node 2, ps-ef grep smon. You can see testdb2 is running here, right? So that's a simplest way to restore your RAC database or the clone your RAC database as a RAC database. So connect back to your database SQL plus SHDBA. You can do select name, comma open mode, select name, open mode, testdb, read write mode. Again, do the using gv dollar database. You can see your testdb, both instances are running here. Select instance underscore name, comma status from gv dollar instance. You can see your testdb1, testdb2, both are in open mode. That's a good thing. And then now you can set the environment to plus asm plus asm1, asm cmd -p lsdg. So your data and record go inside data ls. You got your testdb here, go inside that ls-l. You got your control file, data files, online log file, parameter file, temp file, go inside parameter file. You see your SP file location over there. So now you can go to your reco, ls-l, and you got your testdb here, ls-l. You got your archlog, auto backup, control file, online log file. Everything is set here. And then just exit crsctl stat resource -t on your cluster resource. Where is your testdb? You can see testdb on instance 1, instance 2, both are online. On node 1 and node 2, both are in open mode. So that's an indication of quick and easiest way to clone your RAC database to a RAC database, two node RAC as a two node RAC using RMAN Duplicate Database. So I will come up with a few more restore and recovery scenarios in my next sessions. Until then, see you guys, and then we'll see you in next topic. Until then, take care. Thank you guys. Bye bye.